let me just walk through some of this. So this is our trading dashboard. We have all kinds of different features on the left-hand side here. This is a fresh account, so it's not going to show any trades currently, but once you start having trades, we have today, week, month, year, and it'll show all of your data here. So if you're familiar with TradeZilla or something similar to that, this is going to be a similar experience, and you can customize each of these whatever you like, get rid of them, add more, reorganize them, whatever's going to help you see your profitability and track all of that. We've got strategies, and this is where you can add different strategies to your bots. So depending on what tier you have, you can be running one bot at a time. On the lower level, on mid-tier, you've got 2 bots that can be running at one time, or at the top tier, you can have infinite amount, and they could all be running on the same account. So this is where you would set all that up, and I could walk you through that a little bit later. Trades, so anytime a trade is going to come through, this is where it's going to pop up, and we'll see that live. And then if it's completed, it'll pop up. It'll show down below. Then this is a new feature we just Stax just added recently, and this is the hybrid trade. So if you want to enter a trade, say you're watching the charts and you say, hey, what I think it's going to do is we're going to reverse, or we're going to continue, or whatever, which right now is just kind of doing nothing. So we wouldn't want to do anything right now, but let's say we thought it was going to go down. Then we could use a strategy. So I have a manual strategy here. And you can either select your ticker and expiration and direction and the strike if you really want to customize everything, or you can just go, you can pick your strike, how many strikes out you want. So I usually do about 2. You can go SPY or QQQ, push, go long or go short, and it'll enter you into that trade. And then the settings that you choose on your strategy, so this is my manual strategy, it will enter that trade at 10% of my account with a max of 5,000, a max contract cost of 450. It'll set my stop loss at 40. It'll only take trades within this time. And then this is where I can set up my trailing. So at 8% it would trail with 20, 12 by 18, 14, 4. So basically it's how you want to manage that trade if you were to enter it manually, which is a new cool feature that we have for those of you that like the hybrid trade. As we go on, as you get data for your trades, they'll show up here, and it'll show you your monthly P&L, your daily P&L, your fees, all of that stuff, so you can get a good idea of what's going on. Same thing for history. Once you have history, all your trades will populate here, and you can look at all of those. Leaderboard is this will show all the traders in our system and their total gains, win rate for this specific amount of time. This marketplace is where you guys can get different strategies. So what comes automatically with the automation is what's called our DualTrend strategy. And then if you want to add more strategies, and when I'm saying strategy, this means like how you want to enter a trade. So if you want to enter a trade based on the DualTrend or based on one of these will be your entry strategy. So you can add them here. So I'm already subscribed to all of them, and right now all of these are free to add to your account. And then over here we've got the backtester, so you can choose any of those strategies that you'd like. So we can just make our own if you want. So we can say, let's do a trailing one based on the daily trend. We'll put our stop loss at 40%. We'll do a multi-tier trailing. We'll just keep this standard just for the heck of it. And then we can go position. We'll say a starting balance of 2,500. Risk allocation, so let's say we'll do 20% of our account per trade. And leave leave that there, leave that there. Cool, include broker fees. We'll keep the schedule, task the last 3 months, and risk. Cool, so we'll do a back test. Cool, so this one over the last 3 months would have gained $588, and that's just like a very standard default setting, so we didn't even customize any of that. So this is where you would look at these, try out different strategies, see what works for you, what you like, and then you can apply those settings. You can save it as a preset, or you can share the code to somebody else, or you can copy a code from somebody else and paste it in, or you can apply it directly to your bot settings, and then it will show up here as one of your, if you were to do a new setting, it'll be any of these that you can choose from, and then you can further modify it here. But it's a great workflow to start with back testing, see what you like, then add it into your strategies, and then either run it 100% of your strategy, or you can split it up into 50 or 50 or whatever amount of bots you want to be running for the day. So let's check back in with how the markets are going. They're just kind of chilling, not doing much. Anybody have any questions? You can use your mic, just unmute yourself, or you can use the chat if you like. I feel like Mondays are usually kind of ripping, and today is just chilling, not really knowing what's going to happen yet. You're correct. Chopping. It's like it's scared to pick a direction. I know there was a pump, like, well, I guess there was a gap down, so we're probably filling that slowly. If you guys have been here for a while, a few of you have, so feel free to ask some of those questions, or if you're new and you want me to explain something about the dashboard or how the system works, happy to do that too. And again, right now, what I'm watching is this is my RVS strategy that we have available. So this will show the alerts for that, and then I also have the filtered dual trend here, so we can watch both of those charts. For those of you that were on automation this morning, just send me a message real quick about what entry strategy you're using, or entry signal. This morning I'm using TM for my first strategy. So for the strategy that's going to be taking trades this morning, I'll start basically right at market opening. I'm using the TM strategy signal source, and then I've got my other RVS strategy, and that one is starting at 9:30, and that's Mountain Standard Time. Hey, good morning for anybody that just joined us. We're just watching the markets right now. It's not doing a whole lot, just kind of chilling. So, if you guys have questions, let me know. We were just walking through the dashboard and the platform. Not really much to show right now because it's markets are not doing much. So, if you have a question, let me know. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of sit here and watch the markets and wait till something drops.
Everybody here should have the ability to speak.
If you want to. No pressure. It's like the markets are like, hey, we know you're live streaming, so we're just going to hide in the corner for a sec. It's like when I manually enter a call, it goes put immediately, or vice versa. All right, so we see this guy printing. Which one am I at? So this is the filtered DualTrend. So this is on QQQ. So I am not running this strategy this morning. I'm running the RVS, and that is not printed anything yet. Anybody else in a trade yet?
Hey, what's the new
Yep.
orb strategy?
That's Stax. He's working on that one. You have an update for that one?
Yeah, so the orb, if you were to just draw it out on the
Order
chart,
filled.
Whoa, that was crazy.
based off of, the rules, you mark out the high and the low of the 15 minute or the 5 minute, whatever you want to use, the 30 minute. And then you wait for it to break. That alone has a pretty low win rate, so it's what I'm working on right now. I haven't had a opportunity to focus on strategies in the last week or two, but I'm just trying to add some additional confluences or filters that can try to bring up that win rate because as it is right now, it's pretty low. It's not something that I would want to trade. So yeah, I've been working on features for the last 3 weeks or so. So once I get this multi-strategy released out, then I can focus on strategy again.
Sounds good, thanks.
All right, so we got the alert that came through. Again, we're looking at filtered deal for trend right here. So it'll send the alert after this. This is a 3-minute candle after it closes with a signal printed on it. So that'll be, let me make sure it just came through on the Discord channel. Yep. Yeah, so we'll watch what that one does there. It looks like it's pumping a little. And then this is the RVS strategy. We haven't printed anything on that yet. So I'm not in any trades yet. Anybody else in any trades this morning? Haven't been watching the normal dual trend yet. Looks like we don't have any alerts for that yet.
Yep, nothing yet from DualTrend, um, but it's not unusual to have to wait up to another 30 to 45 minutes for our first trade to come through.
Yeah, especially when the market's just kind of chilling within this range. So with the filtered dual trend, um, what it's basically looking for is it's the dual trend indicator on the 3 minute, and then it's also looking for ATR rising. So it's when it's an alert signal that also looks back over a certain amount of time, um, that is showing that the ATR is rising. So especially in the beginning of the market, it's always ATR is always going to be rising over the pre-market, or usually always. So that first or second dual trend alert will always pump through. Um, so that first alert is kind of the one you want to watch out for because it's not necessarily filtering it, because compared to the pre-market, the ATR is almost always going to be increasing. But as we go through the day, it's going to make sure that the ATR is not falling, meaning there's there's expanding price action when it comes through. Let's see the RVS over here. Anybody done any manual trades yet? I think I did one on Friday.
Yeah, I think I saw Bayou got a pretty good trade on Friday with it.
Nice. Did you set up your own strategy, or did you use like a manual trading strategy, or did you just enter in your own normal strategy for that one?
Yeah, I know Rico also used it.
Did he?
Rico got a nice trade.
Cool. Right on. Yeah, I think it's a great new addition because it, for those that want to automate their trading and just leave it, we've got that. And then for those that are sitting at the computer watching it and want to be more actively involved or see something that they want to get in on, um, like this bounce here would have been, once it broke above, would have been a good one to just kind of manually jump in on.
Yeah, I know from manual trading, the most difficult part was always trying to manual trade for the most
There we
amount
go.
of profit. Oh, we get a trade? Let's see.
Two in there.
Yep.
Nice. What were you saying, Stax, about the manual trading stuff?
Yeah, so from manual trading, I always found the most difficult part was, managing your trail.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on your broker, some brokers are intuitive and allow you to drag and drop that line, but others, I don't know, for those who might use Robinhood or something like that, you always have to go in there and edit your order. You got to do the math yourself. You got to type in what you want your new stop to be. So with this, all you need to do is focus about your entry, and it will handle your trailing stops and your exit strategy for you.
Yeah, I think that's huge because, like you were saying, when I was trying to manual trade, I would have TradingView open, and then I would have Webull open, and then I would have my different contracts, and then trying to get in on the right contract at the right time, and then trailing it, and then setting the right trail at the right place or the profit target. It would spike super quick, and I would miss it, and then I would hold it too long, and then I would lose it. So having that trade management is huge. It's huge for sure. All right, so it looks like we might have got no nothing for RVS yet. So this chart's for the TM strategy, the one I'm running this morning. Nothing's printed on there yet. Got the RVS just printed. Let me pull that. There we go. Okay, we're gonna fill the silence with some music here. Turn this down. You guys hear that? I can't hear it. I can't hear that.
When you share your screen, and you might have to do it again, there's a checkbox for sharing your computer audio.
Okay, let me stop streaming here. Stop streaming. Stream. Share screen. Share stream audio. Figure that out for next time, I guess.
You're on a Mac too, so when you're sharing your screen, usually at the top right-hand corner, it will show you what you're sharing, and you should be able to press that button for your options.
I'm on a PC.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I got stream settings here. figured it out. inked up. I see you unmuted yourself. If you're trying to talk, I can't hear you. Just again, we're just watching the markets right here. Not a whole lot going on. This chart you're watching is the filtered dual trend. And again, the filtered dual trend is the dual trend indicator on a 3-minute chart, and it's looking for the alerts that come in while ATR is increasing comparative over the last, it's different for each ticker, but over a specific amount of time. So this one that came in, this was a regular dual trend alert that came in, and the ATR was increasing over the past. And these early ones will either play out really quick or they'll take a while to play out if the market's kind of bouncing back and forth. And sometimes these first dual trends, filtered dual trends that come out might be a false signal, because ATR almost always will be increasing as the market opens compared to the pre-market. So you can see here pre-market's pretty low. Its ATR is increasing, but there's not really much price action. So these first ones can kind of be false signals. As the day goes on, it's gonna kind of level out, come back down a little bit as price chops or goes nowhere or whatever. And those signals that tend to be a little bit stronger, because it's only gonna print when there's that added price action. But just something to keep in mind with the filtered dual trend. If we have like a trending open where it's going up or it's going down, it'll catch those. So this is a good one just to kind of back test on different days to see which start time would be best. The morning strategy that I'm running is a TM strategy. And it's basically trying to catch those reversals in the market, which right now we're just stuck in a channel, so it's not reversing or really going anywhere. So nothing's gone on that. The other alerts we're watching is the RVS. So this is gonna look for increased volume within a specific amount of ticks. So nothing really has happened here. Here you can see that this one took off, and the amount of volume that happened for this price move compared to some other ones triggered that. And so my experience so far, just back testing and stuff, is that these RVS signals will either be quick winners or you can cut out quickly. So like the strategy that I'm running for the RVS that starts at 9:30, since I've found that the later days, later in the day works better. So my strategy for the RVS, let's see. So I'm running pretty tight. It starts trailing pretty tightly. It's at 2%. It starts to trail, and my initial stop is at 10%. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting those slow movers out really fast. So this one probably would have already been stopped out. But a lot of the RVS signals, especially later in the day, they'll signal and then pump pretty quickly. So those are the ones I'm trying to catch, and I'm trying to just cut out of the other ones pretty quickly if it's not moving. So nothing on the RVS, nothing on the TM yet. Looks like we just printed another filtered dual trend for a down, for a put, which maybe will break this support here, or maybe it'll just kind of keep going back and forth. You can see that the ATR is starting to drop off, but comparative to where it has been, this candle was still higher. So that's why that one signaled there. So as we're looking at these charts, these are all signals that I've created, either based, like this one is based off of the dual trend, so the filtered dual trend. The quick pullback, which I don't have up right now, that one's also based off of the dual trend, which is Stax's. That's the one that he's been testing for a long time. So these are just kind of variations off of that. The RVS and the TM are ones that I came up with. But that said, like, if there's some kind of strategy you like to trade, or that you specifically like to, or have been watching or whatever, and you want to code it, we can definitely add that to the marketplace if that's something that you want to offer to the community, or if there's something that you want to look into. I'm happy to look at coding something or figuring out what that might look like, if it would work, and backtest it and stuff like that. So just let me know. All right, TC36 says, I'm curious about how you decide which strategy you want to run on a daily basis. Obviously, backtesting for today. Yeah, so based on my backtesting, and that's all this is based off of. So for the new strategies that we have, which is all these in here, the quick pullback, the TM strategy, the RVS, the filtered dual trend, we now have the ability to backtest them, which is awesome. But backtesting really only started, the data capture for that only started on the 7th. So we have about 2 weeks of data to pull from. So really, to get a well thought out strategy to run, you're gonna need at least 2 months of backtesting. So I'm choosing these strategies just to live test them, and basically for you guys to try to come up with some strategies that work and strategies that I can share with you that you can try yourself. So I'm kind of just diving into unknown waters, which is why I'm picking those strategies. And then for the strategies that I'm running, based on my back tests, the TM's strategy that I have, that plays best in the morning. So I have that started at 7:30, and then that one, if it's gonna work, usually works and is done by 9:30, and this is Mountain Standard Time, my time. So market open till 2 hours later. That's about when that one is done playing out. And then the RVS strategy that I'm testing out, that one starts at 9:30, so 11:30 Eastern time. That's what I've found the best timing to be per backtesting. And again, that's only 2 weeks of backtesting, so it's not an end all or written in stone. But that's just what I've found. So today, I was just gonna run the RVS strategy, but I wanted to have something running live while we're doing this call. Not that the market's doing anything to watch at all, but that's how I chose these two today. So this one's going to be running primarily right now while we're watching it. This one will be running later in the day. And then, yeah, the dual trend is the one that's been back tested the most. So that's the one that most people are going to be running. Yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, Caleb, that makes sense. Thanks, man. And then the filter dual trend, does that also back test the furthest as well? Or is the filtered also just since April, whatever, early April?
Yeah, good question. So I had the filtered dual trend started earlier this year, and then I had to rework it. So really the data for that one is only started at that same that's the 7th, and that's when we started capturing the backtesting data for it, and it's per tick. So anything starting the 7th is going to be as accurate as we can. So it's not based on open, high, low, close. It's every tick. But yeah, so all of those additional strategies that you can run, they all started on the 7th. So I've come up with a couple different strategies for them, but I'm going to be constantly tweaking them as more data comes out and we can start pulling more of that into the back test. And if you guys have questions about any of those strategies that we've added, just let me know. I can try to explain them. If there's something you want to know about them or something that's going to help you out, just let me know. So one of the things with the multi-bot that we have beta testing right now, and it'll come out soon, obviously is the ability to run multiple bots on your same account. And while you could run them both simultaneously, say you want the RVS and a TM and a DualTrend all running at the same time, you could totally do that. What you can't do is having two different settings for the same entry, because taking two of the same entries on Tasty Trade or any other brokerage with different exits just screws everything up. So you want to have different entries. But one of the things that is cool is there, as we look at the different strategies, just like I was talking about with the two strategies I have set up for today, one is better in the morning and one is better in the afternoon. So instead of having to get on and switch things manually, you can just set it up so that one will run in the morning and one will run afterwards. You know, and I have these 50-50, but you could have them 100 each if you want, percent of your account balance or whatever you want. But you can figure out which timing is best for each entry strategy, because none of the strategies are going to be ideal for all time of the market. So like this is RVS, and you can see here it printed a long print here, and we haven't done that yet. And I've found that the best time to enter is after 11:30 Eastern. But finding another strategy that works better in the first 2 hours of the market, now you can put both of those together and create a system for all day. Or maybe you find one that, I don't know what that would be, but one that goes, you know, good during low volatility at lunchtime or something like that. So, or you have one that you just want for the last power hour of the market. This is where you could set all that up and then just have multiple strategies on different strategy sources that trigger at certain times during the day without you having to come in and mess with any of that. So as we're watching the markets here, one of the things that I'm trying to do with these new strategies, and any new strategies that I came up with, after this, is to try to come up with strategies that are multi-baggers, meaning that your risk to reward is positive. So if you're risking, $10, what we're shooting for is a $20 return, so that if you have one loss, it doesn't completely ruin your account. One win will cover 2 losses. A lot of us on the regular DualTrend side of it, I was running like a 6% profit target and then a 30% stop loss on it for a while, which has a really high win rate. But when I would have a loss, it would take me like 5 or so trades to just get back to even after a loss, because I was just going for such a short little profit target. So what I'm trying to do with these is come up with strategies that are not they're not going to have as high of a win rate, but your risk to reward return is hopefully going to be a multiple of your stop loss. So that even at, if you're getting 2 back for every 1 that you risk on a trade, you could get a 50% win rate and still be profitable. So that's one of the things that I'm looking at and trying to incorporate into my strategies as I'm making them, and I'm trying to come up with the settings for those to try to stay true to it. It's easy to look at a strategy and just do a really tight profit target because of the high win rate, but I'm trying to set it up so they have a lot more room to run, and I cut out of those losses a lot quicker. So just kind of my philosophy for the strategies that I'm coming up with. So we'll probably stay live for a few more minutes here. I know the market will just start taking off as soon as we stop the call, but we're going to start running these live walkthroughs every Monday at the same time, market open on Mondays. So if you guys have questions or you want to talk about stuff in here, we could totally do that. If you have friends that are looking at the system and want to see it playing out live, be sure to invite them, have them join the free Discord. They'll get access to I think we have about 3 alerts a day that are free, so they can get those. They can start looking over the information, and then we can join us for these live sessions. They can ask their questions, or we can walk them through whatever. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. We're going to be live for probably a couple more minutes here. Looks like the market's pretty sleepy this morning, so probably cut it soon. But thanks for letting us try out this new live session with you. Work out the kinks. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions, or we will start wrapping it up.
Can you visit the website real quick just so we can see how to get a free Discord invite?
Absolutely. So if we go to Stax Investing, when you're here, it'll be the first pop-up right here. So any of your friends or anybody that wants to join, just send them to Stax Investing. It'll be the pop-up. You enter your email address, and we send a link to Discord where they can just get in and start looking around. So no commitment or anything like that. I just send them a message welcoming them, and then it's totally on their own. Unless they want help, and then I'm happy to help them.
I have actually one more question. I'm curious. So I know on the daily trend, it kind of focuses on calls or puts, depending on what, the daily trend. So I noticed in the morning, obviously it can start with calls, and then, how does it basically decide between puts and calls in the morning to kind of create that daily trend and the daily signal that it wants?
Yeah, good question. Stax, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so it's a mix of a 200 EMA and the VWAP. Did you hear that?
Yeah, thank you.
So basically, Stax, what you're saying is in the morning, if it's given a call or a put, it's going to be based on where that 200 EMA is and the VWAP is. And sometimes in the morning when it's super choppy or there's a lot of volatility, it's going to push that VWAP above and below that 200 EMA a couple times before a true trend for the day comes out. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we are not looking at only the day data. We look at all the data, the extended data. So it's not really like it gets reset every day. It's a continuous line, and we're either above it or below it. But yeah, that can happen sometimes where if you're real close to it and you're closing above and below, that it could potentially send off a signal that doesn't play out in the direction you expect.
All right, sweet. I think I'm going to call it. Looks like the market is still just taking a snooze fest this morning. So thanks, guys, for being here. I'm always available. Whether I get back to you immediately or it takes me a little while to get back to you, I will get back to you. So be sure to send me any comments, questions, whatever. If you've got any issues, Stax is here to help with that, and he's always working behind the scenes. So thanks for being part of what we're doing. I appreciate each of you, and thanks for being on this adventure with us. And yeah, we'll be here same time next week. And yeah, look forward to it. Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of your day.